Welcome to the Knock on Wood podcast. Today is a very exciting day at Wood. Number one, for our students, it's the 100 days until graduation. So we have a little bit of a celebration down in the cafeteria going on, but the big celebration we have is the podcast that you're about to see. So with us this morning, we have some special guests. We have the Crispinos. We have Nonna Crispino and we have Maria Crispino. And Maria is a graduate of Wood in 1994. And they're here to basically tell us about their experience at Wood and then tell us about all the great things that happened that brought it to this day today. Um, as you see in front of us, we have a cookbook that is basically a summary of a lot of great recipes that have been created over the years by the family. So we'll get more into that as we go. But the first question I have, and maybe we'll throw it out to Maria to start. Tell us about your high school experience at Archbishop Wood. As an alum, I can relate to when you come back, and you kind of think back to when you were here. Some of the things that were fun, exciting, and some of the things you learned. So tell us a little bit about that experience.
I had a great experience at Archbishop Wood. It was always a family, even back then. I was the first year that turned co-ed. So the very first year, boys and girls. For me, it wasn't a difference because I came from Nativity and we were always co-ed. But we were the first year to start co-ed, and the first 4 years, we were the first graduating class that was all co-ed. And I remember it was the boys' side and the girls' side, and specifically the boys' side teachers made it really, really fun.
Okay.
We had Mr. Krantz, and he let us watch the history of the world, part 1 and 2, and Mr. Mason was teaching math back then. They always made it really, really fun. And I remember the dances specifically a lot because we always had Friday night dances. And you probably remember this. I don't know if you guys still do it, but they would cover the entire basketball floor with a tarp. We didn't care. Everyone danced.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everyone danced, and it was so fun. We didn't have phones, and we just all really looked forward to it.
Yeah. Now I got to ask you a question. That first year when you came together, were the boys and the girls glad to talk throughout the day? Because I know when I was here in '82, the only time that we could talk was in the quad, at lunchtime.
In between.
In between. Right?
I heard that. But for us that started, we didn't know the difference because again, we came from co-ed schools.
Okay.
And all the feeder schools were still, the elementary schools were co-ed. So for us, it wasn't a big difference. But.
Right. So what brought you to Wood wouldn't have happened without this young lady right here.
That's right.
So tell us about your experience coming, to the United States.
Okay.
How your business got started and what that was like.
Business got started. We come in this country I come in 67 and 71 in the city in Philadelphia. We don't have no kids, nothing with my husband. So we moved to get from the city better education for my kids.
Okay.
When my son Vince started school, we moved in 77
Okay.
with the house. And then she was not even a year old when
Wow.
we moved here with the house because we like a Catholic school to have a better education. So my son went in the Nativity of Lord.
Yes.
And we still was to travel from Woodman's to Germantown area. But we cannot go no more long time to have work in the city. And we see around the Woodman's there was nothing Italian. There was nothing. So we bought a little piece of land, the county line in York Road. We built the first store, and we built Altomonte. The tradition, this one here, and day by day, till we built the store, we was travel in the city to see work. So 1980, we started to build the store. In 1981, we opened the store, first Altomonte. Maybe it was 14 years in the city.
Wow.
To be closer, to better education for my kids, and give education to the community, what we have, because Italia, there was nothing. No good bread, no pasta, no prosciutto, no oil. There was nothing there.
Wow.
That's where we started.
Yeah.
And day by day, we grow every day because my son Tone, he loved I raised the kids in a store, so they see and they choose what they have today. And we, with the help of all the customer, all the love us, my kids, it was a very interested be in the business. That's where we grow the way we are today. Thanks to my son and my daughter,
Right.
and now my great kids is in. And then we started Archbishop Wood. I mean, all of my family, the Archbishop Wood. And now, how many years now? Since the 19 late 80 to now, still my family is the Archbishop Wood.
Yeah.
We love it because a good school, a good education for the kids, and the way they are today, the kids, the education is the best way to have a family, no public school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And you had said there's 12 in total?
It might be even more
Yeah.
if I can't.
Even more.
It was
Lost
all
count, right?
my brother kids and my sister kids, my kids, friends. There was a group here. There was everything. I feel like a family Archbishop Wood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like, I can still remember when I was a young boy, my mom would take us to your store on County Line.
Yeah.
Because exactly what you said. Like she said, that's the best place to get the best Italian food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we would go in there, we walk around.
I create a lot.
And usually had like the little sample cookies and stuff that you
Yes,
as a
cheese.
little boy.
Cheese.
The cheese.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
My dad goes there all the time, and he can't come back out without 5 unnecessary bags of stuff we didn't need.
Unnecessary, never.
Yeah, that's what he
Yeah.
says when he comes
Yeah.
home because it all looks so good.
Yeah.
So at Archbishop Wood, our vision is the history of excellence for the leaders of tomorrow. So if you want to talk about how the history of Altomontes helped you, inspire you to write that cookbook, and how that motivated you to launch it.
So we'll start with faith, because I think that's the one thing that ties us, faith and family. It was a sacrifice to send us to Catholic school with tuition, but it's made all the difference in our life. So with the book, one of my favorite things to do is to talk to customers, and they'll come in and they're like, oh my gosh, my Nonna used to make this, or my mom used to make this, but I don't remember what it was called, and I didn't get the recipe, and they're not here anymore. And I thought for a second, I'm like, if I don't write it down, it's not going to be here for me either, or for my kids, or for my nieces and nephews. So I started slowly to get the recipes out of her head, which was not easy to do. I had to be on her hip to get the recipes. She didn't have anything written down either. So,
but back in the day, you didn't write stuff down. You just had
You
it up here,
created
right?
a recipe. You create a recipe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Eyeball it, or by feel, or by touch. Now we laugh about it, but when I was writing it, I'm like, Mom, how much did you put in? She's like, this much. I'm like, Mom, I can't write this much. Like, I would take it out of her hand, put it in the measuring cup, and she would get mad. She's like, oh, you don't have to write it down. You don't have to measure. I'm like, I have to measure. And then the other part is their immigration story. I mean, what my mom and dad created is the American dream.
Yeah.
Everything they carried with them from Italy to here. So that story needed to be told as well. And in the beginning of the book, it highlights the history of my mom, my dad, how they came over, how Altomontes was started, but also a time that doesn't really exist anymore, even in Italy. We were invited. This was so cool. We went to Rome. Roman Parliament invited us
Oh, wow.
to present the book.
Wow.
That is so cool.
Isn't that neat? We were so honored. And I didn't fully realize, because when I used to go to Italy, it was always like, oh, the Americans here come the Americans, because I am American, proudly Italian American. But this time they accepted the book. I got a standing ovation at Italian Parliament, and they said, you're more Italian than the Italians here. And in that moment, I realized basically this book is a time capsule of an Italy that doesn't even exist anymore there, something that they carried with them here, that they kept the tradition and the faith and the culture and the family. And when you go to Italy, it's not really like that anymore, but they kept it sacred, and I was able to get it down.
Yeah, it's funny you touch on that tradition, because I feel here at Wood, like similar to the tradition when you were over in Italy that you brought here, and you want to kind of preserve that and then build upon that. It's really what we're trying to do here at Wood in this day and age. We're trying to take like the history of everybody who went through here, all their great experiences, and then preserve that, share that, and then have the students that are going through Wood now experience, what that was like, and then kind of take that and build upon it. And that's exactly what you're doing with the cookbook. You're sharing this basically with the world, and then the world's going to be able to take this. By the way, my wife, when I said I was coming in doing this interview, she said, "You got to make sure we find out a way to get the cookbook." So my wife is already wanting the cookbook.
Yeah.
But it's a credit to both of you and your family, for not only embarking on the American dream, following it through. I'm sure there's a lot of challenges over the
Yes,
years.
a lot of done. It was no easy.
Exactly.
If you want, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
With the passion and honesty.
talk a little bit about that passion and honesty. Like, how do you sprinkle that into your recipes?
Like I say, if you want, you can do anything you want. Nobody is better than me or than somebody else. We're in the same level. Everybody we have the experience to grow with honesty. Like I say, I grow up, my kids grow up in a store. And I want to be the mom. I don't want to leave the kids at home by themselves or the babysit. That's what the experience that they have. With the honesty, a, a passion, what do we have? We build what we build today. You have to love it to work and never say this is not my job because I learn everything A to Z. When I come in this country, we don't have any money. I don't know nothing about business. We grow, teach me and my husband each other how to run. No language and no money.
Mm.
That's where we built what we have today with the help of all the good customers. They love us because they see what person we are. Because what I don't want for me, I don't want nobody. Because I'm business, I have to do more money. No, I share the stuff.
Mm.
I learned something, everything by day. If I make a recipe, it was no good, I try again. You never forget where you come from and never say, I'm not good for this one here. You try again.
Yeah.
And you try till you get your dream come true.
Right.
You test, you feel this one here. Same thing like any recipe. That's our life.
And I would imagine, you relied heavily upon your faith, because when you're embarking on something new,
Mhm.
you don't have all the answers. You
Yeah.
gotta basically put a lot of it in God's hands. Like, do your part, to make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, put the rest in His hands.
You have to be honest with the customer, with the vendor. If I see something I don't like it because not everybody we like the same thing, I turn the page. I'm gonna start the next shopper. I do what I have to do because I never give up.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
So we talked a lot about the cookbook. So you want to tell us where we can get it so everyone watching is able to go out and buy it?
Yes, so it's available at Altomonte's Italian Market, and there you can get it autographed and personalized. We also have it available online at alto-imports.com
Okay.
for shipping.
Good.
And give us two of the favorite recipes that I should run home and say to my wife, you got to cook this tonight over the weekend.
Everyone loves the eggplant parm in the book. That's the one I'm getting the most feedback that people love. Yeah. And another one, I love the greens. There's one that escarole and beans that's good for any time. It's called The Butcher's Daughter, but there's so many vegetarian recipes in there because the heart of our home growing up was the garden. So the book takes you through all the seasons of basically it's like a year in the life growing up Italian in America. So there's butchery in there. There's also garden recipes and sweets and whatever Mother Nature's giving you through the season is what the book takes you through to use.
I
Yeah.
love that. And
Yeah.
Nonna Crispino, what's your favorite recipe in the book?
I think I have one.
Okay.
So the pasta And most in Italy, the most first thing they put in the table. The homemade pasta, the gnocchi, the pasta with cheese, macaroni, everything is simple. No lot of hard work to do. The simple stuff, it's the easy way to do. As long as you have a good quality of meat, flour, good olive oil, everything. No use anything cheap. What do you think? What the read the label before you buy the stuff.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So, final question we asked everybody, and asked both of you as well. So, obviously, a lot of living, years have gone by, from graduation, from coming to this country. What's one of the things that you wish that you would have known at the teenage years when you're in high school that you learned by living life that maybe you can share, with the high school students now that would help them in their pursuit?
Today, they have a lot what I don't ever want to grow up.
Mm.
Okay? Today, it's a different world. I never can imagine. The way I grew up in a farm.
Mm.
Or law was you have to do 5 years school. They don't have no high school. You don't want to because you do the 5 years school and then you help with your parents. I remember I want to go to school.
Hmm.
I want to do their school. My mother, she said, you have to help me. Yeah, I remember the principal of the school one day was talking to my mother, send her to school. Say, my mother said, you're going to help me to pick up the olive? You're going to help me to do this? I remember, and then I went behind my mother, cry, because I want to go to school. And the prince told me, tomorrow morning you come to school. I'm going to buy the book. I'm going to buy everything what you need. Are you going to disagree with your parents?
Exactly.
It was the law. It was what do you do? That's why today I give the education to everybody. Never too late to learn. I understand. Even with the 5 year school I have, I did a lot. And this one here. Sometimes you need a school of education. If you love what you're doing, sometimes the school, college is not for everybody. Because everybody they have to do a work. Yeah. If you love it, you can do anything you want.
Yep. Good.
When you build good foundation, and you go step by step, and you learn. Yeah. It's the best education for me. I have a hands on it for every day.
Yeah, I think the best way to learn is
Mhm.
especially through that experience.
Yes.
And taking it step by step.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even with my English, I never went to school to learn English. I picked all, but I know I read. I don't know I write 100%. I do my job. I understand everything what I need to do for my business.
Yeah, I'm amazing. That you can pick up,
Yes.
languages,
Mhm.
you pick up and
Yes.
learn,
Yes.
and develop,
I never went to school in English.
Yeah.
I never lost the tradition. I never lost my accent then.
Yeah.
Even after almost 6 years, wanna go in Italy, going hometown. I know better than anybody else over there.
That's
And
great.
my kids, they do the same thing because they have a good teacher.
Yes, we do. We're the best.
And what about you, Maria? I mean, looking back on it.
Looking back, I would say, be not afraid.
Okay.
Those that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind. It's a Dr. Seuss quote, but don't be afraid to look stupid or ask the question. Try not to care too much about what other people maybe think of you, because your tribe will find you. Just do what you love, and then get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that is where all the growth, happens. You can do hard things. Watch what you put in your mind, in your body. Work your like exercise every day, eat really well, read all the things that people who have come before you who've learned and been there that can guide you.
Yeah. Getting comfortable being uncomfortable, when we talk about, leadership and stepping up as a leader, that's literally the first step. Because anytime you try something new, you're not going to be good at it. Most people. And so if you kind of put that to the side and say, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'll figure it out. I'll work hard. I'll get educated on it, and before you know it, I'll be an expert on it. That's critical, and that's one of the skills that we're trying to teach here at
Yes.
Wood.
Mhm.
Get involved.
You
Step
make
up.
mistake, you learn about your mistake.
Yes.
Make a mistake, it's easy. Don't make a big mistake, what you cannot repair. Any mistake, it's fixable.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
The other thing is, for me, the discipline that happens when nobody's looking. Like, you don't want to get up, at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to work your body. Everyone else is going to a party, and I'm writing this book, and it's taking forever. Like, you just have to grind through it, because at the end of the day, you have to put in the work to get the reward. The only way out is through. You just have to do it.
Yeah. So hand me the book there.
Yes, it's almost 400 pages.
So the butcher's daughter. So I encourage you to go out and get one of these. We love to support our alums and our families and all the folks that came before us. We love to support them and all the great things that they're doing out there, as we speak. So I encourage you, get out there, get the cookbook, pick a recipe or two, enjoy the good food, and it's a tribute to these folks of making this happen. So thank you once again.
Thank you very much
coming in
for have us here.
Oh, you're welcome. You're
We are
welcome.
family. That's why if we can do anything for help, any advice, anything you guys need, just let me know. I'm be available anytime you guys want me to.
Wow, that's
Okay.
so
Thank
nice.
you.
I really appreciate that
Mhm.
offer. We will take you up on that. Because
Thank you.
we're trying to reach out to more and more alums
Yes.
and
Mhm.
bring them back. And that's the question they always ask. Hey, how can I help?
Because these young kids is our future.
Yes.
If we're gonna teach them everything is it's a rose, behind the rose they have a lot of toil. And you have to survive life. Because today it's easy for young kids. Because I grew up with no TV, no phone, and nothing. This one here. You need no education, the strong base to grow up from the world. Because today it's no easy for you guys.
Absolutely.
Yes, I wish I can do something. Okay.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, that concludes another episode of the Knock on Wood podcast. Stay tuned for future episodes and enjoy our work here. Take care and have a great day.